Good morning, my name is Ariana V. Hill, and the topic I chose today is on communication. What is effective communication? Communication is about more than just exchanging information. It's about understanding the emotion and intentions behind the information. Effective communication is also a two-way street. It's not only how you convey a message so that it is received and understood by someone in exactly the way you intended, it's also how you listen to gain the full meaning of what's being said and to make the other person feel heard and understood. More than just words you use, effective communication combines a set of skills which include engaged listening, nonverbal communication, managing stress in the moment, the ability to communicate assertively, and the capacity to recognize and understand your own emotions and those of the person you're communicating with. Effective communication is the glue that helps you connect to others and improve teamwork, decision-making, and problem-solving. It enables you to communicate even negative or difficult messages without creating conflict or destroying trust. How to become an engaged listener. People often focus on what they should say, but effective communication is less about talking and more about listening. Listening well means not just understanding the words or the information being communicated, but also understanding the emotions the speaker is trying to communicate. There's a big difference between engaged listening and simply hearing. By communicating in this way, you'll also experience a process that lowers stress and supports physical and emotional well-being. If the person you're talking to is calm, for example, listening in an engaged way will help to calm you too. Likewise, if the person is agitated, you can help calm them by listening in an attentive way and making the person feel understood. If your goal is to fully understand and connect with the other person, listening in an engaged way will often come naturally. If it doesn't, try the following tips. The more you practice them, the more satisfying and rewarding your interactions with others will become. Nonverbal signals. When we communicate things that we care about, we do so mainly using nonverbal signals. Nonverbal communication, or body language, includes facial expressions, body movement and gestures, eye contact, posture, the tone of your voice, and even your muscle tension and breathing. The way you look, listen, move, and react to another person tells them more about how you're feeling than words alone ever can. Developing the ability to understand and use nonverbal communication can help you connect with others, express what you really mean, navigate challenging situations, and build better relationships at home and at work. Managing stress. To communicate effectively, you need to be aware of and in control of your emotions. And that means learning how to manage stress. When you're stressed, you're more likely to misread other people, send confusing or off-putting nonverbal signals, and lapse into unhealthy patterns of behavior. How many times have you felt stressed during a disagreement with your spouse, kids, boss, friends, or coworkers, and then said or done something you later regretted? If you can quickly relieve stress and return to a calm state, you'll not only avoid such regrets, but in many cases you'll also help to calm the other person as well. It's only when you're calm and relaxed that you'll be able to know whether the situation requires a response or whether the other person's signals indicate it would be better to remain silent. In situations such as a job interview, business presentation, high-pressure meeting, or even an introduction to a loved one's family, it's important to manage your emotions. Think on your feet and effectively communicate under pressure. These tips can help. Recognize when you're being stressed. Pause to collect your thoughts and take a moment to calm down. Make one point with an example gauging the listener's reaction. Find humor in the situation. Deliver your words clearly. Be willing to compromise. Agree to disagree. and wrap up with a summary and then stop. Communicate assertively. A direct, assertive expression makes for a clear communication and can help boost self-esteem and decision-making. Being assertive means expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs in an open and honest way, while standing up for yourself and respecting others. It does not mean being hostile, aggressive, or demanding. Effective communication is always about understanding the other person, not about winning an argument or forcing your opinion on others. These tips can help. Value yourself and your options. Know your needs and wants. Express negative thoughts in a positive way. Receive feedback positively. And learn to say no. Know your limits and don't let others take advantage of you. Know your barriers to effective interpersonal communication. Stress and out of control emotion. When you're stressed or emotionally overwhelmed, you're more likely to misread other people, send confusing nonverbal signals, and fall into unhealthy patterns of behavior. Take a moment to calm down before continuing a conversation. Lack of focus. You can't communicate effectively when you're multitasking. If you're planning what you're going to say next, daydreaming, checking text messages, or thinking about something else, you're almost certain to miss nonverbal cues in the conversation. You need to stay focused on the moment-to-moment experience. Inconsistent body language. Nonverbal communication should reinforce what is being said, not contradict it. If you say one thing but your body language says something else, your listener will likely feel you're being dishonest. For example, you can't say yes while shaking your head no. Negative body language. If you disagree with or dislike what's being said, you may use negative body language to rebuff the other person's message, such as crossing your arms, avoiding eye contact, or tapping your feet. You don't have to agree or even like what's being said, but to communicate effectively without making the other person defensive, it's important to avoid sending negative signals. I have attached a short video on precise communication and how it is a guarantee for success. Closing tips. It's simple to say what you mean, but it's all too often what we try to communicate gets lost in translation despite our best intentions. We say one thing, the other person hears something else, and misunderstandings, frustration, and conflicts arise. I know from experience I have had plenty of misunderstandings, all because I wasn't listening and I let stress and anger get the best of me. After researching this topic, I reflect back on my life and how I'm raising my children. I know that communication is the key to effectively connect with them. I don't want them to think they can't, or even worse, don't want to talk to me because we don't know how to communicate with one another. The articles I read on communication were helpful to incorporate in my daily life. Whether you're trying to improve communication with your spouse, kids, boss, or coworkers, you can improve the communication skills that enable you to effectively connect with others, build trust and respect, and feel heard and understood. Everyone needs a little direction, and this has been helpful to me so that I can work on my weak points and I can better deliver my thoughts and understand what others are trying to communicate to me.